Good morning. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for you, for all people. You know, it appears now that we have someone in office, Donald J. Trump, who has made himself president of the United States of America, who's violating all the rules, violating all the laws that they have been set up and chosen to represent America's way. There are some things that we are learning, things that are being revealed right before our eyes here today that teaches us about the things that have transpired all of our history. It's the same old path. What we see today is Donald J. Trump breaking all the rules. Now, the democracy, as I understand they're saying, was set up in such a way that here in America, the rule of law would be the primary thing that guides us. And we had a whole bunch of stuff set up within that. But bottom line was the rule of law. And for all of these couple of 100 years, they have said that nobody violated. Everybody has understood what that represented. And within themselves had agreed that this is something that they could live with. And for all of these hundreds of years, they had no problem. A president wins, he takes the office. A candidate wins, he becomes president. A candidate or a president loses and he is replaced. No sweat, no argument. It's over. Now, let's see. That tells us what happened when we didn't expect this to happen. For all of these years, it never happened. So we as the American people never expected it to happen because people, at least to some degree, was trustworthy. At least to some degree, the people were trustworthy. And so up until this point in time, people have been trustworthy until we run across this guy here named Donald J. Trump. No trust any place, violate any rule, which means he's straight representing the pit of hell. So we see what that means, right? We didn't expect that to happen. You remember January 6th? You remember when those people attacked the America by going through the state capitol? You remember that? You remember wherever you were if you weren't there and you were watching something on television or your phone and you kept believing, saying to yourself, I don't believe that's going to happen. They can't go. No, they're not going to push that fence back. Oh, they did. Oh, they're not going to go any further. They're not going to go up, start going up those stairs, up those steps. Oh, they are. Oops. They up the stairs. Oh, they're not going to try to break those doors down. And there they go. Everything that you just could not believe that they would do. That's exactly what they were doing. So the people, the American people, for all of these years, who have never gone to anything to that extent before, and the people had trust that this kind of stuff would not happen because this was America. This is the United States of America. This was the center of democracy as far as we knew, and we were held up before the world. So nothing like this will ever happen. But there it was happening. And when you start talking about the election stolen, why would you expect somebody to say that? You got all the systems telling you that this thing was not stolen. And it would work for everybody else but this one. So the lie stands and built up all of this. Now, doesn't that kind of give you some example of what happened to the natives? They trusted them, thought everything was cool and everything to worry about. And bang, out of the sky blue, somebody like Donald Trump came up and stole India's land. On the other tip, all other people that were abused through this country, same thing. When the slavery existed, or somebody just like Donald Trump came in, violated trust. And so that's been the game played here all along. But just like this game was played here, there was a game played in Russia. There was a game played in China. There was a game played everywhere. And all of it is a game, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is saying who's going to stop him. In other places where the law has failed, the people have not. They have come out in numbers and saying, you got to go. We don't want you with nothing that you represent. And they're giving you a chance to pack your bags and get out of town. So it seems as if somebody in America is recognizing that's going to have to happen in this country. Because you got a man in office, and it appears that in order for him to get out of office, you got to run him out. Because unless that happens, he's going to do just whatever he chooses. And believe it or not, there are enough people in America, there are enough people on earth to this point to keep heaven running supreme. God is in total control. God is allowing this to happen because this is the result of a people who were given the keys to heaven on earth. When I say a people, I'm talking about all the human beings on the face of the earth were given the keys to heaven on earth. And this is the result of a choice that was made and practiced throughout eternity to now. This is the result of it. God has allowed it to exist because he's giving every individual on this earth a chance to recognize that you were tricked, that this pain and suffering is nothing that you want. And even if it in the past you've accepted it on others just to keep it off yourself, now you're recognizing how evil it is and you want nothing to do with it. But it's not that you don't want anything to do with it. You want its replacement, that which brings joy and happiness to your life. This is, at least it's in your head. At least this is what you're thinking. At least this is saying to you that because of what you are seeing today done by people as evil and hateful as folks who are super rich, who have robbed the world of most of the resources that you consider as wealth, and now they're telling you what you can't do or what you can do, and got you in a position where you, if you got anything as far as survival is concerned, you are depending on them. We've walked that way, that far away from God. But ladies and gentlemen, be that as it may, you still have the opportunity by the love of God to make the choice, wake up. And that is what it's all about. You are here still today with the opportunity to wake up. You see the hell and the choice is still before you, but because you've lived in this darkness so long, in order for you to change, in order for you to make that thought process carry through, you got to have faith. You got to believe it can happen. But not only that, ladies and gentlemen, there are those amongst you who claim to already be there. It is incumbent upon them to lead the way, to stand up before you so that you can see God. And you will know who they are. Why? Because once they start standing up, the government will start trying to kill them. And you will know the government's trying to kill them. And when the government starts trying to kill them, you know why. Because they speak the truth. And you, my friends, that's what God has designed for you to get that truth. There are those out here willing to give their lives up. They're not trying to stay alive. They're willing to give their lives up, gladly giving their lives up, just so you can see what's happening. So you can see. Because once they give their lives up and you can see, what happens when you can see? You walk not in the ditches. You go around them. You step over them. And that's what they want. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave that with you for now. And thank you so very much for your time. Good morning.